I've attended General Assembly, the annual business meeting of our Unitarian Universalist Association, every year except one since coming to First Parish. That's a total of 13 General Assemblies. Why do I keep going back? Because General Assembly gives me a chance to deepen and explore my faith beyond the bounds of this wonderful congregation. Because it reminds me that I am a participant in a religious movement that harnesses the power of love, and that I have a responsibility to practice that love fiercely and boldly in everything I do. I've learned over the years to pace myself at GEA, and so most of my activities this year were confined to the business sessions and drum gatherings. DRUM, or Diverse and Revolutionary UU Multicultural Ministries, is a national organization for UUs who identify as Black, Indigenous, or people of color. And drum activities are usually the highlight of my GA experience. Being in a room of dozens of UUs of color, rejoicing in our many identities fully expressed, is a glimpse into the future of Unitarian Universalism that I want us to create. As for the business sessions, we've come a long way from the days of Robert's rules and interminable discussions about minutiae of interest to only a scattered few. These days, General Assembly includes numerous care teams to help us remain in covenant, theological reflection to remind us why it all matters, and of course, a lot of fantastic music to keep us going. One of the major items of business this year was the proposed revision to Article 2 of the UUA bylaws. Article 2 is where our current 7 principles live, and these were last revised in 1985. First Parish in Cambridge, along with many other congregations, participated in early conversations about shared values and inspirations, and over 85% of delegates at GEA voted to continue this multi-year process. The process builds on the work of the Article 2 Study Commission, whose proposal is illustrated in the graphic you currently or shortly will see on the screen. Instead of a numbered list, it places love at the center, surrounded by the shared values of interdependence, equity, transformation, pluralism, generosity, and justice. Justice includes the language of the 8th principle, incorporated into First Parish's own bylaws in 2021, which includes an explicit covenant to dismantle racism and other oppressions. The Article 2 Study Commission will now incorporate the amendments to the proposal passed at the 2023 General Assembly, bringing it back for a final vote next year. The 2024 General Assembly will be 100% virtual, making it more accessible for attendees. I hope you'll consider joining me and others then. Thank you.
When Karin invited me to be a part of the service this morning and offer a reflection on my time at General Assembly, I was honored to be asked and happy to participate, but I wondered what I could share that would be meaningful, since I'm not a GA delegate and I don't attend much of the business portion of the conference. After their initial meeting about the service, the team suggested that I could reflect on my experience as a member of the Association of Unitarian Universalist Administrators and how that shaped my time at General Assembly. For those who don't know, there are 5 organizations to support religious professionals in our work with congregations and with Unitarian Universalism in general. The UUMA, the Unitarian Universalist Ministers Association, supports UU ministers. LREDA, the Liberal Religious Educators Association, supports DREs and other religious professionals. AUUMM, the Association of Unitarian Universalist Music Ministries, supports music directors, choir directors, and other professionals and volunteers working with music programs. UUAMP, the Unitarian Universalist Association of Membership Professionals, supports the work of professional staff and volunteers working on membership within congregations. And finally, AUUA supports the work of administrators and other administrative staff in our work in congregations. All of these groups were represented at GA and had space in the exhibit hall to share their work and the work of their groups with other religious professionals, lay leaders, and visitors. I have been a member of AUUA since I became your administrator in 2013. I attended my first General Assembly in June of 2014, although I only attended Professional Days, a professional development program run by the AUUA for the 2 days prior to the official start of GA. From the time I attended that first session, Professional Days and GA have become an important part of my own professional development and a time of renewal each year. I have also formed relationships with folks around the country and into Canada who have been friends as well as colleagues. I am now serving my 5th year as a member of the board of the AUUA, my 2nd year as its treasurer, and my 3rd year as a good officer. I chair the Pro Days planning team to offer high-quality professional development to administrators. I am grateful to this congregation for your continued support of this work and for providing me with professional expense funds to be able to participate. This year, the AUUA board met in person for the first time since 2019. Just as our own board here at First Parish gathers at year-end, we gathered for a board retreat to review the work of this past year and to set goals for the coming year. 9 members of our team gathered for a full day on Tuesday and half day on Wednesday to discuss how to improve the AUUA and how to be more effective as a board and as a professional organization. Above all, we want to help our administrative staffs be effective in growing and promoting UUism throughout the denomination. Our gatherings were centered in a spiritual opening and chalice lighting. We also begin each board meeting by reciting our covenant. We did team building activities since we had new board members and since we hadn't been together in almost 4 years. Members of our board represent a variety of administrative levels and church sizes. One member of our board is the executive director of a cluster of small churches in northwestern Texas, while another is from a small church in Vancouver, British Columbia. Our 2023-24 board represents all regions of the UUA except for the Central East region. We actively promote professional development opportunities for all administrative staff and offer training programs at low or no cost. Our trainings cover a wide range of topics, including nuts and bolts things like database management, policies and procedures, human resource management, as well as workshops on justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. Deep, thoughtful conversation took place around our meeting table at our gathering meals. We spent a significant portion of one morning discussing an update to our Code of Professional Ethics. We discussed the challenges felt by those administrators who are members of their congregation, as well as paid staff, and how there are similar challenges for those who are non-UUs serving congregations. Discussions around the mental health challenges of our work and of the pandemic and the ongoing changes to congregations following the pandemic and how our work has been affected helped shape our ideas for the future. During GA, many members of the board and approximately 10 other administrators who were attending GA as delegates for their congregation shared time at our booth in the exhibit hall. This is my favorite time at GA. At the booth, we get to meet other administrators, lay leaders, ministers, other staff, and we get to share how excited we are about the work of AUUA and how we believe it can help administrators throughout the denomination. We get to share our swag with those who want to bring something back to celebrate their administrator. It's an opportunity to network and to form new relationships. This year especially, it was good to see folks in person and to be together. In closing, I'd like to share a story about a social activity we participated in at GA. We try to gather all administrators who are present for a meal one time during GA. This year we gathered on Friday evening for dinner. Usually this is at a local restaurant away from the conference hotels. This year we went to a small restaurant in Pittsburgh called Cafe Momentum. There were 20 of us in attendance. Cafe Momentum is an award-winning restaurant and culinary training facility. They aim to transform young lives by equipping Pittsburgh's justice-involved youth with life skills, education, and employment opportunities to help them achieve their full potential. They offer interns a comprehensive 12-month curriculum at a community service center located just next door. The program goes beyond teaching practical skills, as they also provide case management support to interns in a variety of areas. Dedicated case managers work closely with interns to address their individual needs, including education, mental health, life and social skills, financial education, and career exploration. Through this personalized approach, interns develop a strong foundation for success in all aspects of their lives. It was a lovely evening of delicious food and great conversation. It was especially fulfilling for all of us to know that we were helping young people improve their lives and learn to thrive. It felt like truly living our UU values. Again, I am truly grateful to the support of First Parish in this aspect of my work. Too many other administrators get no professional development funding or time to participate in training events like General Assembly. I believe my participation in GA helps to further my work here at First Parish, and it also gives me the opportunity to share some of the amazing work that we do here.
Good morning. Excuse me. I'm Grace Hall, and one of the 4 delegates to GA from First Parish this year. Overall, it was a great experience, but there was one hiccup. I'm speaking about the business resolution. A business resolution doesn't sound very interesting, but I found it very important. One thing you need to know about business resolutions at GA is that they require the authors to solicit a large number of signatures from a variety of congregations all across the country. And the young people who wrote this business resolution succeeded in doing that. It called for the total divestment from fossil fuels and using that money for reparations. It seemed like a great idea. What could be wrong? Well, it turned out the resolution involved not only complete divestment from fossil fuel funds, also from all companies that provide equipment to fossil fuel companies, also all banks that loan money to fossil fuel companies, which involves most of the banks in this country and would greatly limit what UUA could do in that area. And there were a lot of other complications in terms of divesting that much that quickly and how it would affect the fund. Other congregations put their money there also, their endowments, to safeguard them, and there's a responsibility there. Giving away that much money all at once would mean cutting jobs at the UUA and programs. Mm-hmm. So there were a lot of negatives. And in the end, about 2/3 of the delegates, including me, voted against it. But we all felt badly. This was a young people's initiative. It was really done with the right spirit, and it was for the right cause. But all is not lost. The Reverend Dr. Susan Frederick Gray, our retiring president, and Reverend Sophia Betancourt, the incoming president, both went to visit the young people and talk to them after the vote. And Dr. Betancourt, or Reverend Betancourt, also has committed to supporting the resolution, not supporting this resolution, but to supporting the heartfelt concepts that are in the resolution and to work with the proposers and other people on making things happen in the coming year. So what looked disappointing can work out well. The skirmish was lost, but perhaps in the long run, it'll turn out even better. What I'm doing is waiting to see what happens in the next year. I'll be watching, and I hope you'll join me in that.